Sudden death among healthy working age people worldwide is skyrocketing. Here in America, it was up 40% during the third and fourth quarters of 2021. Our next guest contends a 10% jump would have been a 1 in 200-year event, but this was 40%. Edward Dowd is a founding partner of Finance Technologies and author of the new book, Cause Unknown, The Epidemic of Sudden Deaths in 2021 and 2022. Okay, Edward, most people would respond to this sudden death news and say the statistics jumped 40% because of COVID-19. What do you say?
Yeah, so in 2020, it was mostly old folks who died of COVID with comorbidities. Then there was a sudden mix shift in 2021 and 22 and continues in 23. And my work and my partner's work points to something that happened with the employed of our country. It's been detrimental to your health to be employed in 21 and 22. And we examined the Society of Actuaries, which is an industry group for insurers that does surveys. In August of 22, they came out with a survey for their group life policyholders. And group life is a specific policy for those who onboard to Fortune 500 or mid-sized companies. You get this death benefit as kind of a freebie when you onboard, and you get 1 or 2 extra salary. Should you die, you get that. Your family gets that, or your beneficiary. You have to be employed at the time you get it. Well, this is a great business for insurance companies. And in 2021, the whole industry experienced 40% excess death in ages 25 through 64. The millennials 25 through 44 were hard hit particularly. The group life policyholders generally die at 1/3 the rate of the general U.S. population in any given year. And in 2021, I just said they had 40% excess death. The general U.S. population had 32% excess death.
Well, it seems tell us about some of these unexpected sudden deaths. It seems like there are a lot of them. I mean, just from a Google search, you can find like a lot of 12, 14, 16, 18-year-olds that are just dropping dead suddenly. Tell us more.
Right. And in my book, I talk about sudden death, and we look at the sudden deaths of athletes, which, did it happen before 21? It did. There was a study in 2006 by the Lausanne Institute in Switzerland that showed over the course of 38 years, they found 1,101 sudden athletic deaths, which is about 29 a year globally. We'd be lucky to have a month with just 29 since 2021. In my book alone, there's hundreds and hundreds of examples. So something's changed. I obviously blame the vaccine because that's what's changed and mandates. And, the naysayers will tell me it's COVID, long COVID. Well, if that's the case, why did it not affect the young in 2020? And so we have a health problem, a national health crisis, and at the very least, it should be examined and discussed openly. Unfortunately, the vaccine is a taboo subject, and it's not allowed to be discussed in the mainstream media or pretty much anywhere near health authorities. So this is a problem that needs to be reckoned with. We need a national discussion about it. And, if I'm proven wrong, that's great. But unfortunately, on Wall Street, when we see statistics like this, and trend changes like this, we become quite alarmed. And that's what I do for a living.
Yeah, it gets your attention. And I want to remind people that you're not a medical doctor, but you've done a lot of research on this for your book. So what did medical professionals speculate is the probable cause of all these sudden deaths? Do they agree with you?
Well, it depends on where you fall down on the issue. Obviously, the frontline doctors who were vilified early on, who identified the vaccine issues, like Peter McCullough, Dr. Malone, and others, agree with me. The excuses I've heard from many medical professionals is, well, there's suicides, Ed. There's drug and fentanyl overdoses and missed cancer screening appointments. Well, let's take a look at what happened in the third quarter of 2021. The millennial group, according to the Society of Actuaries, that's ages 25 through 44, experienced into the third quarter a rise from about 30% excess mortality to 84%. Very sudden, rapid change. So I call that an event. I call that the mandate event in the fall of 2021. And to say that Fortune 500 and mid-sized company employees had a suicide pact doesn't make any sense to me. To get your claim, you have to keep your job. Fentanyl users and heroin users don't stay employed very long, and it's also suspicious they decided to overdose in the same quarter. And then the missed cancer screening appointments doesn't make any sense. I'm 56, never had one. It's something that young folks don't tend to do. So this is, and for all three to have occurred simultaneously is nearly impossible. So there is an event that occurred in 2021. If the doctors can explain that to me, we had already gone from the original Wuhan variant to Delta, and Delta didn't seem to do this damage in the summer, and Delta was all over the place in the summer. So somebody needs to investigate this. I have my definitive conclusion. In my estimation, it's the vaccine. I'll be proven wrong until, and right now I don't have anybody coming up with an excuse that makes any sense to me or anybody else, quite frankly.
Okay, the book is Cause Unknown, The Epidemic of Sudden Deaths in 2021 and 2022. Edward Dodd, thank you for sharing those insights. We appreciate it.